come today to one of my favourite places anywhere in this part of the world, and that is Silchester. And I'm going to go for a little bit of a walk around the area. Starting off with St Mary of the Virgin Church. Silchester was once called Caliver Atrebatum. Not quite sure how it's pronounced. An old Roman town. I can see here that there's the remains of the Roman wall. We'll see a bit more of that in a minute. Where I'm walking right now is a little bit more modern, of course, but anyway, this is a delightful church. It's a gorgeous place, and I'm going up to do a few walks like this with the Insta360 camera on up and running, and to do a little bit of normal photography as well. The beauty of this is that I can actually grab stills from the files that it gathers when I'm walking around, including audio as well. So let's have a look around. There's one over there. There is probably after a bit of peace and quiet, but we'll come back through the church on the way back and have a little bit more of a look. From now, I just want to make the most of the dry weather, because it has been a bit wet this morning. Surprise, surprise. It's certainly been a wet summer here in the UK, up until now. I came here this time last year, and it was the exact opposite. The grass was brown, there was barely any grass at all, and it was like walking in the African savannah or something. It was quite surreal. But no, this is more the kind of climate I'm used to here in the UK. So, the fields out in that direction, there's lovely green pastures. This is where there once would have been a bustling, large Roman town, the Roman town of Caliver Atrebatum. It seems hard to believe that now. It's so calm and peaceful, very tranquil, and I'm just going to put my sunglasses on a bit and squinting through the light. It's not even that bright. So it's beautiful. Just behind the trees over that way, there's a Roman bath, or Roman baths, which they excavated some time ago. And there's certain days you can see them. I think I'm on the wrong side of the trees to be able to see them. But no, they're very obvious once you know where you're looking. Anyway, let's have a little bit of a walk. yeah, on a Friday afternoon I should have this place for myself pretty much. So I parked by the church. If you want to come here, that's one place to park. But if I can, walk along this pathway here, which I'm going to do. There's another pathway just beyond the end of this one, which leads down to a much bigger car park that's maintained by English Heritage, I think. I think the site is English Heritage, National Trust, one of the two. Take a look out so you can see the baths. But I think they... But it's no surprises really, there's a big clump of trees over there, because there must be some very good sources of underwater springs around here. In fact, I saw one just as I got out of the car. There's a trickle of water coming out of the side there. And of course, where you get a big concentration of trees, there's generally a good source of water. So that would suggest that's why the baths would have been located over there. When we came here back in the early summer, we could hear the sound of skylarks, which of course we won't today, because the skylarks probably migrated back to Africa now. I think they tend to stick around until sort of July, August, and maybe with the weather being as it has been, they thought, stuff this, let's go now. Wouldn't blame them. One of the people that inspires me to go out walking and exploring places, out of many people to be honest with you, there's lots of people that inspire me to walk and explore, and that's John Rogers. The videos he does around London and most of the time, but there's some great writers, people like Robert McFarlane is very good. The field on my right, I can remember, it must have been 2004, the University of Reading were down there doing an excavation, and they had a big section of the field dug up for excavations, and that was really interesting, very, very interesting indeed, because we were allowed to go in, and they had planks and boardwalks going across the cuttings that had made, the trenches, what do you want to call them, over in that direction. I think you can sort of make it out if you look towards looking over that way, you can see the grass where there's like you can make out the lines just about, and if you have a drone up, it's not a day for a drone to be honest, it's a little bit, yeah, the weather's a little bit iffy to say the least, and you get some aerial shots, you can see the markings in the ground in the fields around this whole site. You can really make out where the old walls used to be, the old the villas, the old buildings, the streets. If you look for long enough, I don't know if they could probably figure it out, but have a look again across the meadow for the baths. I think I can make them out actually. What we'll do is we'll go back to the church in a bit, and we'll take a walk along that section of the wall over there, least, to have a look at the field that's on the other side of the trees from where I am now. That's where they are. So, anyway, come back to that in a bit. So, what we've got here, we've got lots of signs around the whole site. This one, the centre of the Roman town. This is the heart of both the Iron Age and the Roman towns, where the administrative and religious buildings stood. So, kind of Atrebatum, the name's derived from Atrebates, and the Atrebates were the tribe who pre-existed the Romans when they came. But I think they came together, they worked together, and developed the town into something like in this picture here. It would have been fantastic, wouldn't it? It's streets, parks, a great big forum in the middle. There'd been a marketplace there. You can see down the bottom here there's a barracks where the military would have been. It would have been quite well fortified. And the wall, which we'll see properly in a very short time, would have been much bigger, much grander. One of the things, yeah, English heritage, there you go. One of the things they found here is this eagle. And it's the eagle that's had people perplexed for years. Cast bronze and stone items were found on the site of the forum. The bronze horse far left may be pre-Roman in date. This eagle, now missing its wings, was probably part of a larger figure of an emperor. The stone head depicts Serapis, the Egyptian god of fertility. So, yeah, it says here that the rectilinear grid of gravel streets was laid out in the 1st century, or the late 1st century, and continued to be used throughout the life of the town to the town's main east-west street, which was roughly in the same line as this modern track. Ah, right, okay, interesting. Was the principal routes to the West Country from London, which lined with shops and workshops. So immediately to your left, that way would have been the 2nd century forum, so the forum would have been over there. And that makes sense, because we're going to talk about the baths. The baths would be very close to the forum, because that would have been used by the wealthier people of the town. There's a basilica, yeah. Possible temple as well. And close by is the site of a probable later Christian church. So it's interesting to note that there are a lot of Roman roads that connect Silchester with other major towns of the modern day that would have been Roman towns back in the day. A place like Winchester, which is Venta Belgarum, to use its Roman name. It's one that sticks in my mind because I was born in Winchester. I'm from that part of the world, and in that direction it was linked to Pontus, I think it's called, which is now Staines, and then on to London, and then there have been possibly 2 more roads coming out of here to other parts of the country. So it was an important place, it was an important trading post, I guess. One of the roads that I'm particularly interested in would be probably would have come in Silchester from behind me, and that was the Devil's Highway. And the Devil's Highway is interesting because it passes through our neighbouring village, Swallowfield. And you can see it on the map. I've been meaning to, for a long time, to to trace it, to track it a bit more, to find out a bit more about its history. I think one of the local walking groups might hold the key to learning more about it, and that's the Berkshire Weekend Walkers, who caught my attention the other day, and I sort of gave some of their articles on their website, talk about the Devil's Highway and all of the local history, and I thought, it's not my cup of tea, being a bit of a history nerd. Silchester Uncovered. Now, what have we got here? So the University of Reading have been excavating this particular part of the town, a residential area, also known as Insula 9, every summer since 1997. Early excavations, particularly those of the Reverend Joyce of the Society of Antiquities 1819 to 1909, revealed the plans of the stone buildings. And they went on to find the Forum Amphitheatre. There's an amphitheatre nearby. We'll go over there in a little bit. Modern methods. Well, I'm babbling now. So I was talking about the excavation just now, and it's in this field. See where it looks like there are a lot of daisies growing, a little clump of daisies just ahead of me. That's part of the excavation site over there. It's now been filled back in and buried. I think the horse rider wants to come back up here. So I'm going to get out of that way. So let's scoot on to the next point in the walk. I have to say, this is much better walking conditions than Cyprus last week. Last week we were walking at the Tomb of the Kings, and it was baking, absolutely baking. So I'm quite happy to be back here in wet and windy Britain. Okay, talking of wet and windy, I'm not sure it's going to hold out for long. I'm feeling it'll start raining again pretty soon, so I'm going to make the most of it. Get some moisture in the air. I think it's going to rain. Do I have a coat in this rucksack? No, I don't. Here we are. Part of the old Roman wall coming up. I was talking about the other car park, but the other car park is down this pathway here. So you'd come up from there if you parked over that way and come into the site from that direction. There's some people coming along the path up here. I get very self-conscious of talking to myself in the camera. It does get popular here. But it's a Friday afternoon, so I might have a bit of peace and quiet for a while. get a bit of a low down on the path. Lots of lovely stones. Sort of spiritual note. Apologies if the microphone's picking up lots of wind noise. It might make editing a bit interesting later on. So, along this section, probably just record video, but it does anyway. Yeah, onto a spiritual perspective. There we go. Good at it. Lots of blackberries as well. I was talking with my wife earlier on. It's on my way now, and all the colours start to change. It's a wonderful, beautiful time of year. Can't get the full benefit from photography-wise, filmmaking-wise. But yeah, parts of the wall still going strong today. But that's what I was saying. Spiritual. I'm not religious in particular, but I like to think I'm sort of spiritually sound of mind, because I find places like this very relaxing, very soothing, very restorative. And I'm doing what I'm doing now, just talking to you, the people that end up watching this video and want to put it up on YouTube, and you know, some of the ideas I'm having in the here and now and the future. But you know, the air here is always beautiful. It's almost as if the spirits are dancing. It feels like a comfortable place. I think every place has like an aura about it, and Silchester is definitely one of those places. Look at some of these berries. Nature's bounty. And I think places like this is where nature thrives and humans thrive, and I think that's probably what drew the Romans here all of those centuries ago. Where they came looking for resources, as they would do, you know, and found good sources of water here. So it was good for arable farming, it was good for their sanitary needs, and it was good for running those wonderful Roman baths that we all are fascinated with. And of course, one of the next towns on the up from here is, of course, Bath. I wish I could remember the Roman name for Bath. Is it Aquarius or something? Something aqua in it. I'll put up the details on the screen, or little overlay later on. Talking to John Rogers just now, you have to do that sort of stuff. I'm just trying to remember something, I'll put it up later on. Oh, this is wonderful. I'm just going to stand here for a moment and enjoy this, apart from the noisy van going by. So yeah, that's my thoughts really. Where come to places like this and you can unleash your mind. Forget about the things that are troubling you, or forget about the heavy workloads you've had in the week. That's ahead of it all. Let's go out and make a video. Now, this is a gateway, no surprises. This is the North Gate. I'm very, very thankful for these signposts because I cannot remember the details off the top of the head. Town defences were built in 2 phases, both which are visible behind you. So, 200 AD, the rampart of earth was constructed. They constructed the gatehouses, built from stone and tile, and they grassed over everything else. For about 270, these defences were strengthened with a massive stone wall. AD 270. Ah, here we go. This, talking of connections between towns, you have Dorchester-on-Thames not far from here, and we have Belgaia, which is the region around Ghent, Bulgarum, Winchester, Chichester, Neva Magus, Londinium of course, Verulanium up here, St Albans is a lovely place, and yeah, so they must have used River Thames in some way to ship things around. And this picture here, I think it's fantastic. I think it's a really good image of what it must have looked like. And turning around behind me, you can really picture it. Keeping that picture in my head, you can see that this big rock here would have served an important purpose in probably in the main structure. Possibly flawed. I can remember someone once telling me that elements of the wall would have been built by the Iron Age tribe that was here before the Atrebates, and then the other layers on top were the Roman layers. So I'm going to take this opportunity to take a few photographs. So I set up the camera on a tripod. This is a bit of an experiment. So by mounting the camera on the tripod, I can stick it on the wall for a little bit and get out a trusty Ricoh GR3X, one of many cameras that I own. I'm trying to get some close-ups of stonework. So 100 ISO, F8. It's a fixed focal length camera of about 40 millimeters, effective 40 millimeters, so you're going to get a few shots of this fantastic plate. should have bought a box for me. I have to eat one of these. Oops. No, I think I might need a tiny bit longer. See if I find one that's easier to pick. So, before I nearly destroyed my camera, I got some nice photographs there. The Ricoh is amazing, really, really good camera. Might get a bit slippery down here. Just negotiating a slightly iffy bit. Oh, that's better. So, no surprises, this path goes around in a circular fashion, and today I'm doing just half of it, because I know the other side will be a bit boggy, which again goes back to my theory on why the Romans would have sourced their water on that side of the site as opposed to over here, because this side is definitely drier than over on the other side. So what do I know for sure? Oh, this is nice. Anyone good for trees? Is this a there's a lot of lots of ash trees around here. I think mountain ash trees. Yeah, some of which would have been here possibly as far back as the Romans. Most trees are about 800, so a few hundred, 800 years old. Something you might occasionally come across a 1,000-year-old tree, but let's swap hands. GP or 4K? That's the question. When I do my exports of the files. So I think this side, the wall is a little bit more overgrown, but it's really beautiful. I love it. The way nature kind of caresses the old ruins. Parts of the path are quite unstable, or it's lopsided. Probably the better description. Get around the corner a little bit, it starts to widen up a bit again. Oh wow. Anyone good for wildflowers? I think that's something, is that a cowslip? Very big cowslip. But, that's what it looks like at least. It's nice, but yeah, it's a nice section of the wall. So, over on the north side, as we've established that this is, let's come around a bit, probably more like northwest now. We have the amphitheatre, which you can't see yet because it's over there behind the trees. But I'm going to take you over there. We'll have a closer look in a minute. So we're very much on the higher ramparts here, what would have been the higher ramparts, because we've got a very good view across the landscape in that direction. The trees wouldn't have been as big in those days. If they were there, you would have seen for greater distances out towards the River Thames, which is roughly in that direction. You probably can't see it from here exactly, but you know, it's not all that far. It's getting tricky again. It really has been wet. There's no sort of bogginess as such, just that really sort of slippy, slidey ground. Here we are, got for the worst of this bit now. Careful not to twist my ankle. Yeah, it's a bit where it opens up a little bit. Oops. Show some sandwiches for me, have a little picnic. Not far to go now. Almost back at the car. But yeah, it's a beautiful place. Stop for a moment to take it all in. So, whereabouts is Silchester in the grand scheme of things? Well, I mean, that's not far from Winchester. Winchester's that way. No, Winchester's that way, roughly speaking. We're not far from Reading, so we have Hampshire that way, Berkshire, pretty much we're on the border of Berkshire here. Wokingham, not far away, and then Basingstoke over that way as well. So it sits between the M3 and the M4, not far away from the A33. That's if you're coming here by car, which is still the only sort of main way you can get here. It's a good place for cycling actually. I won't cycle along here, it'd be a bit difficult. But from home, I haven't actually done it yet, but it's not. It wouldn't be too far to cycle to come over here. So we live in Spencer's Wood, which is not far from Silchester itself. There is a modern day village here called Silchester. It's got a really nice pub. I think it's called the, what's it called? The Caliver Arms. There's a cricket pitch next to it. It's a classic English countryside pub. Apparently it does very good food. We haven't tried it out yet, but now we live in this area, I think it'll be worth a pint or two. Now this tree is incredible. I think this is an ash tree. Eurasian ash tree, something like that. European ash. I'm making tree names up now.
That's hey?
Yeah, yeah, no one around at all. That's all right. There's some people over that way on a horse, but that's about it. But it's often like that on a Friday afternoon. Enjoy your walk. So this bit here is one of my sort of photography spots. I'm going to do one today. It's a very nice chap. And again, a fantastic example of the wall here. Of course, flint. That's a flint and a church. So you'll see in a moment that the church is built mostly out of flint, like lots of churches are. And it would have been sourced from the old wall. So this spot, I've done a couple of photographs from here in the past. So I'm going to grab a still from this video and share it later on, perhaps alongside the other photographs taken in the past, in the winter, the autumn. Yeah, I like doing stuff like that. It's good fun just to have a collection of seasons of one particular spot. It's quite muggy. There's always loads of crows in that field, which I think is a wonderful sight. I love the sight of crows and the sound of crows as well. A murder of crows, yeah, which evokes all kinds of literal characters and hardy, well, not really hardy country here as such, but Jane Austen. Yeah, wonderful. And again, as I was saying at the start of the video, last summer, this spot down here was extremely kind, like the African savannah. There was a pen of sheep. They were taking shelter under the trees from the sun, which was about 36 degrees. It was actually hotter than the weather we had in Cyprus. I'm taking a note of this poster, Heritage Open Days, Historic Walking Tours at Silchester Roman City Walls in Hampshire, which is taking place on the 9th of September. And yeah, so if you're watching this video and you fancy that, there you go. Look at that. Beautiful. Let's do a sort of drone shot. Extend the old stick. There we go. And one. Thankfully, I was back at the car for some refreshments which I bought out in the bag with me. But as that gentleman just said, is it just us? Yes. There are some places you can go to where you can lose yourself and have a valuable experience out of it. Right. Taking a short break. Back in a minute. Technical notes. I'm shooting in logger mode today, I think, on camera. So I'll colour grade it later on in the final cut. What a glorious day. Let's forget it rained this morning, like cats and dogs. So, I've come just around the corner from the main site. Check out these footpaths. Brenda Parker Way, Hampshire Ramblers. Nice field full of cows. Good reason not to walk through it, I guess. Yeah, Brenda Parker. I'll do something on that path at some point in time. I've since done a little bit of reading on who Brenda Parker was, and she died in 2008 at a grand old age, and her family dedicated her memory in creating a long distance path. She is about 78 miles long, connecting Andover with Aldershot, two Hampshire towns, two sides of Hampshire, to make walking easier for people in the area. It opened in 2011. The most unusual direction. I could have gone for the gate. I decided to come this way, and I think I made a mistake. I thought there was another pathway that leads into the... No, never mind.
Sorry, you're the wrong person to ask. So you just came back. I'm looking for the amphitheatre. Oh.
Yeah, I was seeing it down there, so I thought there might be a different way in.
Into the actual...
Yeah, there's a proper way up here.
Yeah.
I'm not actually lost. I'm not actually lost. No. Just pretending.
That's all right. I've been walking around cross cars, going from the car parks, and I'm halfway round.
Okay.
And is there a path off there?
Yes.
Wow.
So
Is there a path coming off halfway or something like that?
yeah, so you just walked on the road.
No, I walked inside on the
I have
actual,
been inside,
the actual
okay.
wall.
Um,
I saw a path, but it didn't say anything about.
so you can go through the gut to the church.
Yeah.
There's a couple of pathways from there. So one you can go through the church grounds, and there's a lane that goes up right halfway through the whole site.
Right.
That connects the church car park with the other bigger car park.
Okay.
There's various pathways from there you can follow to go down the wall.
Okay.
So help.
Well, kind of.
we're looking for them.
Let's face it, you're dealing with my brain. Don't take all the responsibility.
Oh,
Right.
So the easier path is one to the left.
Okay.
That goes into. I'm going to go that way
Okay.
into the arena. That's really interesting. We're going to go up this pathway and take a look down into the amphitheatre up here. There we go. One Roman amphitheatre. And the arena's looking quite grassy actually. Yeah, that's interesting. I can walk around the pathway. This is where I really feel that I'm following in the footsteps of history. Where I'm stood would have been the stalls. I'm not going to go any further. If I slip, I'll injure myself. So let's go this way around. This is definitely where the stalls would have been, and I wonder what archaeologists have found here, if anything. Where they have found trinkets. Anything else that might have been relevant to gladiatorial battle. and then my battery did actually die, and I'll be back for some more adventures around Silchester in part 2. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, hit the notification bell, and subscribe. I'll see you again in the next walk. Bye for now.